Welcome to CathyDSlaught's SRC4u Zoom call for February 24th, 2022. We're here on CathyDSlaught's website, CathyDSlaght.com. We're going to scroll down to look for the Zoom banner here, which is to click over to the Zoom call, which she will be demonstrating the SRC4u software. If you'd like to be part of the SRC4u Daily Energy Clearing Group, you can register here. We're going to click on over to the Zoom call. Remember, this is a demonstration of the SRC4u software. We're going to open up the Zoom app, so you may want to turn the volume down because the call will be loud.
Let's get started here. Let me show you that we went into this theme last night, Black Magic Correction. And I can remember many years ago when this kept coming up, I called Grandmaster. I said, what is going on? He said, they're doing it to themselves. So it's rather interesting. We're working on our brain, and of course, the brain being the hardware, the mind being the software, which is the best analogy I can see. And so we've got, and we're correcting it. Look at that. Now, last night, it didn't say correction. But I went into the recharger, and there is a cocktail for remove black magic. But the odds are pretty good that it's us doing it to ourselves on an unconscious level. And let's just see what else. Again, what you find out as you go through this, for example, here we are working on the liver, and you can go through, the Wonder Click is pretty amazing. Let's just see, Pro Tools liver. No, see, we've got what we need as you go down and just continue to clear resistance. Let's see if it wouldn't hurt to balance the nervous system today. And this is another one as we do this. I did this all the time for quite a while for the group, and we don't need it as often. This is reminding our body to do it. Let's see where we are. Haven't gone in here in a while for this. No, don't need it at this moment in time. The Wonder Click, we're working on it. That's close. We might want to look at that later. There's liver mentioned again, so we do want to get some information. Words to ponder. In communism, man oppresses man. In capitalism, it's the other way. That's pretty interesting. Distrust, interjection, chagrin, gentle towards self. Over the edge, we cannot have that. And then the resistance, legs and feet, which might be about moving forward. So going in, it was interesting that we had, we wanted the neurotransmitter scan yesterday, and we actually want that now in our startup session as well. And what we wanted to do was work on endorphins. And that's pretty interesting. That, I don't know if you remember or not, but that was actually a 0, or if I showed that, because the endorphin, some people, they want to call that a hormone as well, but it's in our neurotransmitter list. And it only works on the physical plane. And one thing that the brain is wired for, they say, is when primary needs are met, it's not satisfied. Then it starts looking for more. And I think we have seen this with so many situations, or like say a person falls into big money, but they're still not happy, or they get that big new house or that marriage, and there's still more things they want. That's something we can work with, I think, once we understand it, which I've got a code down here, understand the brain, so we can actually change a little of that. And according to this, the vicious cycle is addiction. And let's just look. I know we want to finish this owner's manual of the brain, but let's look, for example, and see as a group, where'd we go? Let's just see if the next focus ought to be addiction. Let's just put stress related. Not necessarily yet. And I tested also at one point, I'll show you, for the reptilian brain. And we were not interested in doing more on that at this point. So this is very interesting, the solution to this up here, the endorphins, and that stress where it's never quite happy. We need to do more circuits that are healthy. And so it's accept the suffering boredom of things that are not immediately pleasant and make sure you do them sometimes at all costs. Now, for me, that would be housework. I don't like it. And I have to kind of force myself. And at some point, maybe, oops, I'm sorry, doggone it. At some point, maybe I'll develop better habits, but that's what they say we need to do. We need to just force ourselves and put some new circuits. So, for example, if a person complains, and as a group, we're doing pretty good with that. I'm not so sure I am. And then just a few other things. And this big thing on understanding the brain is this survival instinct we have. That when we meet that, very often then the ego goes in and creates some real sabotage. And we can change that once we understand it. Let's see where we are with it. Look at that. We like that. We understand it. It's a good thing to get the code as well. And then this reptilian brain, and the way what I was reading explained it, is that when the reptile is laying in the sun, it's at its happiest, but at the same time, now it's out, it's exposed, it's scared. So there's that conflicting energy, and which means it's burdened with fear. That's, I guess, involves the reptilian brain. I really want to get a little bit more into that. We don't necessarily resonate at this point. Now, we're not dowsing in more focus on reptilian brain. This code is to relieve the stress that's related to that. Let's see where we are.
Hey, Cathy?
Yeah.
So the term reptilian is like reptilian brain. Would that be more like the evil brain? Are you talking about a reptile's brain? I think there's a difference here.
Yeah, we actually have this primitive brain. And this would not be like the reptilian stuff we've read about, although my knowledge is limited on this. I know we have this facet of our brain, and it's the part that keeps us in fear.
As far as I understand the reptilian brain, it's all about survival and fight or flight.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I just didn't want us to be using a wrong terminology, but I get it.
Exactly. Yeah, and no, please, always let me know. I'm no expert on this, but again, look at that. We benefit from this code, and it very well could be right here that so many of us have these burdens of fear. And what supposedly happens, and give the example again of the reptile, it sees a shadow, it freaks out. The shadow may not be anything that would ever hurt it, but, that's how it's programmed. And we are kind of the same way. So we have things that on an unconscious level trigger us and bring in that fear. And that was the best explanation I had read of that. Let's just look in and see where we are with that. Okay, so I think as a group, we're showing some real positive information. Now, this is what I was talking about with the new habits. If you do force yourself and do some different things, you can clear some negative circuits. And that's, of course, what we want to do, as we're in the middle of a field of information designed, I think, for us to create heaven on earth. But if we understand these things, it's a work in progress. Okay. Look at our numbers, how good they are, Jay. And then just a few other things here. And I'm just going to do a scan of the whole thing. But here were a few other things that can help. The endorphins are actually peptides, so I've got that in here. You know, the endorphins, that's about reducing pain and increasing pleasure. Laughter is huge. It's got to be real laughter, though. And it can't be forced. And so anything we can do, I know this is maybe a bad example, but I went through a period of depression a while back. And what I did is binge watched Schitt's Creek. And I laughed so hard at certain scenes that my depression lifted. It was wild. Tai Chi and QiGong, believe it or not, are huge for the endorphins. So, and we could, in a minute, I'm going to scan the list. Obviously, reduce stress, reduce inflammation, reduce anxiety, improve mood. This is a big one right here because we know already from yesterday that if you're in a joyful state, you activate something they call helper cells. Self-esteem, healthy immune system, memory, cognitive function, there's that addiction. Migraines seem to be tied in to the endorphins. Repair higher vibrations. And then this was an interesting one. Satisfied with present solutions. That's the other thing, is that related to the endorphins, we solve the problem and then we start looking for more, a different solution, and it would be much better for us to actually just stop. We got the solution, quit fussing with it. Well, let's just look in here. So going down here, we do have some stress related to that reptilian brain, but we already doused it in once. We want to increase pleasure. Please help me remember this. Some QiGong. Well, we're doing virtual QiGong, but maybe some of us need to pull up the real thing. Cognitive function. Okay. But we can actually put all those in, and we can reinforce some of these. Let's just look at this again, this reptilian brain. Again, I think we're doing a pretty good job of balancing that out just with the information. Looks like we could be having a little more fun. And I'll show you in a minute, one of the worst things for the brain is isolation, which, of course, we've been through because of whatever's going on with Corona. Okay, so again, I think we're looking real good today. Okay, put that up. Few other things just for fun. This was very interesting. One thing for the brain that is apparently non-beneficial is not providing for yourself, and it makes you wonder, in many cases, if it's really helped people to have the government take care of so many of their needs. It does, on a brain level, it does not appear that it has. So let's just go in as a group. Would it be a benefit for us to recharge this? Yeah, we'll take it. Isn't that interesting? I'm surprised at that. Okay, 2 hours. Then this is an interesting one. Decide to be happy. I know, I will tell you, when I got in this business many years ago, that is what I named my business, the Happy Zapper, because I had realized it was a choice and that I wanted to make that choice. Let's see if we want to have a little extra energy for that. We may not again, but let's look. No, we don't need that one at this moment in time. Clear non-beneficial ancestral habits. Because remember, we also have these circuits. There's still a big dilemma, genetic versus environmental. And we do have a lot of circuits, they say, from our various ancestral habits. So let's I remember a story in my own family. My parents grew up in the Depression, but at one point, my father's father said to him, you know, if you had just been saving a nickel a week, look where you'd be. And he said, then my father said to his father, well, did you save a nickel a week? No. So we kind of bring it down. Now, this mirror neurons is how we shape after those were around. So again, not at this time here. Oh, there's, okay, social threats. That's an interesting, a lot of times people isolate just because for some reason they see threats, and that's definitely reptilian brain. Let's just see if we can do that stress this time. No. A lot of this is just our information. When if we see something that does need a clearing, look deeper. That's somewhat up there. Let's just go in there and look at that. Considering that we not much, that we create those obstacles, chances are good we create them. Then I added a couple of things. I won't put it in the group, but a couple of codes that were there. Informed and courageous citizens of the world now remove tyrants from power for the highest good of all. I don't see how that could hurt anything, and there was a code for it. Cooperation among the people. I think we could add that if we probably already the power of that. Let's just see where we are as an energy group. Maybe we could use a little amp up on that. Now this was from the other day, and I've been, since we are in this brain focus, I have been scanning this just to see if there's anything in there. And by the way, that you may have noticed from yesterday, if you got a chance to look at that, the synchronicity of this, because we know one of the things that can really change these circuits is EFT, and there's a summit. So you got that in the email, and you might want to follow along with that for
Yeah,
some
I read that yesterday. That was very interesting.
Yeah, somewhere I've got the book and I have not read it, so I need to read it. But I do know that the tapping has created miracles for people.
You know that there is another form of tapping too. It's called tapping faster.
Oh, okay. I didn't know about that. Tapping faster?
Yeah, I'll send you the information on it.
Yes, good. And then
I mean, it's regular tapping, but it's a faster way you do it.
It's actually called Faster EFT.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Oh,
you got it.
okay.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
I want you to notice here, I don't want to copy and make an Excel and all this, but our biggest stress, much of this is very balanced, but our biggest stress right now is still post-traumatic memories. Let me just first copy that. Well, I'll remember that. Let me go back down and show you. We're so balanced here, but we've got still. Where did it go? There we go. Undesired memories. And then the post-traumatic, and we did the timeline on that yesterday. Let's go back in and do the timeline again. And we're starting low. Let's let it go a little bit. Goodness. Did I turn that off? All right. And then just a couple more things we can look at. Let's see if we want to do any of these. We want to clear false urges. $14 hours, that's interesting. And what we ended up doing for the substance balancer yesterday is just auto. There was no particular theme to it, but I'll tell you, with the auto for the substance, we took like 10 minutes after 10 minutes after 10 minutes. So we still want to be giving a lot of attention to the nutrition. So anything to add? One thing I want to say, I forgot yesterday, our intention group. So we will do our intention group tomorrow right after the call. I'll get an email out tonight. We did have one person. We've lost one more person we've lost in the group. But we do resonate with continuing to work at this. We might want to add a few new techniques as we go. Anything to add?
Not here.
Thank you, Cathy.
Looks
Well,
like
I
you
guess
got
we're
it,
good.
Cathy.
Yeah, thanks a lot, you guys. Don't forget about the EFT, and I will see you tomorrow.
Yeah,
Thanks,
I'll send
Cathy.
you the faster EFT too.
Yeah. Okay, take care.
This concludes Cathy's SRC4u Zoom call demonstrating the SRC4u software. Thank you for participating. We look forward to seeing you again. Till then, take care and be well.